Hello again my friends, so I have a different kind of video for you today. Now as you can tell from the title, it's about the recent terrorist attack at London Bridge, which I was unfortunately caught up in. Now I'm making this video in response to the overwhelming number of well-wishers who responded to my tweet, to answer the many questions you guys asked me, and to raise money for the victims of the attack. Now I've demonetized this video, but I've set up a fundraiser which I'll talk about at the end. Just to be clear for my younger audience, I'll be talking about things that you may find upsetting, so please be aware of this if you decide to continue watching. So if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen this series of tweets. I posted them in the early hours of Sunday, June 4th. The attack took place only hours before at around 10 PM on Saturday, June 3rd. The location of the attack was London Bridge and the nearby Borough Market. Me and my friend were having a drink at one of the restaurants in Borough Market that was directly affected by this attack. I'll be recounting my experience of what I witnessed and showing some of the footage I captured on my phone. Now what you see here is a map of the area that was affected by the terrorist attack. The orange dots that you see on the map are the locations where people were either injured or killed. Now the terrorist attack began on London Bridge. Witnesses saw a van hitting a group of people. Numerous people were injured. The van then moved down to the south end of London Bridge, where a woman was stabbed between 10 and 15 times. At the nearby Mudlark pub, a woman was seen bleeding from the neck. And it's at the Borough Bistro restaurant. That's where me and my friend were having a drink. Now the description reads, "Truck crashes nearby, rubble showers down on people outside." Now just to explain the scenario, to get to this particular restaurant you have to walk down a flight of stairs, so it's below the road above. So that when the truck crashed above us, that's why we had rubble and debris kind of raining down upon us. Now we heard the crash. It sounded like a metallic crushing noise. We thought it was a road accident. I guess it was that, but we didn't obviously think anything about a terrorist attack at this point. So, and just to be clear, the truck that crashed wasn't the terrorists' van. It was a civilian truck that must have swerved out of the way of the terrorist van and crashed. So the terrorist van made its way down this road to this particular area where it crashed. The attackers jumped out and then perpetrated, I guess, what can only be described as a stabbing spree, and it must have been absolutely terrifying for the people that were involved in Borough Market in this particular area. This is where most of the atrocious stabbings took place. At the Wheatsheaf pub, it was reported that someone was shot. At El Pastor, a man entered with a foot-long knife and stabbed a woman. At the Roast restaurant, two men with knives were stabbing people outside. And at the Black and Blue restaurant, one man was stabbed. Now, like I said, it must have been absolutely terrifying. I've since read news reports of what happened, seen pictures, and yeah, it must have been a really horrific experience. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk more about my personal experience at Borough Bistro and exactly what I witnessed. So here's a picture of the Borough Bistro. I've been here many times. It's a really lovely place, and the manager that runs it is super hospitable, and we'll talk more about him in a moment. So like I said, me and a friend were having a drink, enjoying the sun, when we heard a metallic crashing noise followed by light debris falling down around us. Now we thought it was a road accident, and at this point obviously we had no idea of the terrorist attack that was unfolding above us. Now a short time passed before we heard a crowd of people screaming. We then saw this crowd running towards us. Some people were covered in blood. There was panic and terror on their faces, and they were shouting that someone was stabbing people with a machete and that we should get off the streets and hide. So we ran into the Borough Bistro and down into the kitchen. There was about 40 of us down there. I'd say 30 women and 10 men. One of the girls was covered in blood and was understandably distraught as she had just seen another girl attacked with a machete. Many people were crying, scared and confused. We had no reception in the kitchen, so we didn't know what was going on. Me and some of the other guys made a note of the fire exits. We grabbed some kitchen knives to give ourselves a fighting chance should an attacker come down to do us harm. As you can imagine, the hour we spent waiting in the kitchen, it was pretty scary. Now, since the attack, I've been reading news reports to get a better idea of what took place. As you can see from this news article, the bar manager who runs Boro Bistro saw a terrorist stab his friend in the neck, but returned to the restaurant to make sure we were okay. He too was covered in blood, he was visibly shaken, but he was handing out bottles of water to us to keep us hydrated. So I just want to say, if you're watching this, Vincent, a huge thank you to manager Vincent Lebert for his incredible bravery and for putting himself in danger to be with us inside his restaurant. Only 2 days prior, Vincent had been trained to know what to do in case of a terrorist attack. Now, the footage you see here is taken by me. We're emerging from one of the restaurant's fire exits and being led to safety by armed police. I've since learned that within 8 minutes of the first call to emergency services, officers arrived and shot dead the 3 attackers. These guys did not mess about, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the emergency services for getting there quick and keeping us safe. As soon as we exited Boro Bistro, I saw a few people on the floor being tended to by medical staff. I hope they are now safe and well. And here's some more footage that I took with my phone. As we were being led away to safety, the emergency services were rushing towards the victims. I've learned since that 7 people were killed and 48 injured people were taken to hospital. Of these, 21 are in critical condition. My fundraiser will support the victims and the families of the victims of this attack. Thanks again to the emergency services for their lightning quick response time and amazing courage and bravery. Now, one of the questions I've been frequently asked is how I'm doing. Firstly, let me say thank you so much for the overwhelming heartfelt words of comfort. It's really appreciated, but I'm absolutely fine. A little shaken by a surreal and scary experience, but other than that, I'm good. This won't stop me going into London every week, and it won't stop me enjoying the lovely Boro Bistro, and normal videos on this channel will be up and running soon. So let's talk about my fundraiser. I've set up a crowdfunding page to help raise £10,000 for the victims and the families of the victims who were injured or killed in the terrorist attack at London Bridge and Borough Market. I'll coordinate with the Mayor's Office, hospitals, the Metropolitan Police Foundation and others to ensure that 100% of the funds go exactly where they're needed. I've got the ball rolling by donating £500, so we're already at 5%. I've left a link in the description box below to this fundraising page. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. All donations are going to a very worthy cause. Thank you. I'll be sure to update the page with our progress. Be safe, and we'll talk again soon, my friends.